How pleased are you with that? It's been a great event.
Well, over the moon. I mean, the last 4 years we've been growing and growing and growing, and we had nearly 400 people register. I haven't seen exactly how many were here, but we're certainly over 360 people, 100 service providers, 13 different countries. It has really now become the event of the industry, which is what we thought we might start maybe 4 or 5 years ago when we did it in a hotel for the first time in a small room with 50 of us, but now. So it's been great, really great.
I've heard really positive things from all of the service providers present and all of your sponsors and the people on the expo floor in terms of the quality, and it sounds like I'm talking about a cattle market, but the quality of clientele here, the quality of people that you're bringing from the industry. They're the right people being brought into the right place. So that networking piece is hugely important, isn't it?
Yeah, and I guess a lot of people will know Cavell, but we've had those relationships for 10 to 12 years helping service providers on consulting and research side. So we've built those relationships and we've been able to leverage those. Also with the help of partners like yourselves, the CCA, Cloud Comms Association and ITSPA as association members has really helped us as well bring the right audience. So it's really been kind of a real team effort, together. But yeah, the audience has been great this year, and I haven't spoken to all the sponsors, but I haven't had none complain, and some of them do complain if there's problems. So far so good.
Well, I've heard nothing positive so far. I also wanted to ask you about this year. You've themed the event around innovation, and that seems to have been a real success. There were some really interesting panel discussions. I thought John Straw, the keynote was really interesting, and innovation is critical, isn't it, for the service providers to be able to differentiate themselves and succeed in the.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I've been in the industry for sort of 12 plus years, and I do think that we've got to embrace innovation now. This industry, or we are going to be disrupted even more. So. That was the message I wanted to deliver, and I delivered in my keynote. And John was great. But yeah, that theme seems to have resonated. It might have upset some people because the reality is, if you don't innovate, you are going to die, and we can see that with the competition that's coming. So yeah, I think the theme has worked really well.
That's the whole point, isn't it? It's thought provoking, and as you said, it will encourage that change. If people aren't thinking about some of the topics that the event's covered, they should be already.
Yeah, exactly, and that's kind of our job. So that's our job, both as analysts, consultants, and providers of events like this, is to try and challenge some of the guys in the room. It's fine bringing them all together, which is a big part of the job, but it's also to start to get them to think about things. And there's some themes here. We're also trying the Cloud Networking Summit this afternoon, which is an area I think is just going to go mad for service providers in Europe in the next couple of years. So again, a lot of people come up to me and said, I'm really glad I'm here because I've really wanted to kind of understand that better. So this has been a great opportunity for those. So we've been trying to innovate and bring new things to the event as well. So yeah, it seems to have gone down well so far.
Well, obviously this was the London leg of the roadshow. Washington's coming up in September. I mean, I look very much to receiving my invitation for that.
It's in the post. It's in the post. And one of the things you may have noticed in our brochure is a letter to your boss about why you should be coming. I don't know if you spotted that.
Okay, if I didn't spot it, I will absolutely find it, dig it out.
We put a letter in because some people over here may need to convince their boss that going to Washington is a good idea. But joking apart, right? We're in a global industry. We're in a global cloud industry. If you can't, you need to learn from about what's going on globally. So the fact we have one on the US side and one big event here, and then we've been this year, as you know, we've been out to different countries, but those two big events are really important for people. We've had a lot of US guys here today who are coming here to learn, and we expect to see quite a lot of the European guys going over the pond to learn as well. So I do think it's going to be really big. We're doing it in September, 11th and 12th. So if people want to find out more, just go to the cloudcommsummit.com website, and you'll see about that. But I think we're going to smash that out of the park hopefully this year. It's our second year there, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, joking aside, and we'll make the link seamlessly appear as if by magic superimposed onto us. a lot of those trends, some of the trends you've been tracking today in terms of the SD-WAN, tech track, we see those first emerge in the States, don't we? And then they tend to permeate Europe. So it is important, isn't it?
Yeah, and it goes vice versa as well. I mean, the mobile stuff that we've heard a bit today from some of the guys from the Nordics is going back the US side as well. So, I mean, there is definitely learnings both ways, but in cloud networking, we're now calling it cloud networking, but the SD-WANs kind of stuff is definitely first born in the US, and now we're hearing a lot from European providers, and we're working on consulting a lot with service providers about what they do about that. So, yeah, that's definitely coming this way. But as I say, there's a lot to be learned, actually. Everybody sort of says, oh, the US is ahead. And I've spent a lot of time on both sides of the Atlantic looking at this, and I think in some areas that's right, but in some areas that's wrong. So I do think some of the things you look around what we're doing around analytics, and some of the stuff you look around when we're doing around some of the customer contact stuff, and some other things are more advanced over here, actually. So yeah, so it is. That's why I think it's great. I would say great to be in place.
No, there's a learning from both sides.
And of course, Washington's not bad, right, in September. So there's a few things to see. So if you convince your boss that there is a whole load to learn, but also if you get the cheaper flight and fly in on the Saturday, because that's a lot cheaper for the business, there's the odd thing to see on the Sunday and Monday before the event. But they're justifications that we've highlighted in our brochure that you should take forward.